Welcome back, YouTube family. I'm so glad that you are here. Y'all, I totally missed recording, so I'm picking it back up. I'm also trying going live this time. But today I wanted to talk about just the ebb and flow that so many creative professionals, creative problem solvers, and female founders experience. And then also talk about my experience as well. That I've been working with so many women and I see the same things over and over again. That's how I know it's time for me to turn back on the camera. Um, and today I want to talk about what it feels like when it's not imposter syndrome, it's something else, and how we label things so quickly. So I was recently talking with my coach, who's also a dear friend, and I was telling her that I felt really low energy, and she asked me to do some tasks. I was like, hey, I'll do it. And she said, you feel really apprehensive, really pensive. And I was like, honestly, I don't know what to call this. It's not imposter syndrome. I know how to do the things. I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. And so she said, what it might be is that you're out of balance. You're and not that you're out of balance so much, but you are on the backside of your creative energy. And when I thought about that, y'all, this is what happens when you go live. We're getting flood warnings and stuff like that for Hurricane Debbie. So I hope everyone is safe out there in YouTube land. But what we agreed upon, and I totally reflected on it, and she shared her experience with me as well, is when your creative energy, when you're on the backside of a really big creative spark or product or period of innovation, it's the downside of it. And so there's a couple of cycles that creatives go through, and I want to talk about what that experience is, how you can overcome it, and then the Chat GPT prompt that she told me to do. I'm going to share with you all today. I kind of tweaked it for the purposes of this video. But I want to share those three things. So first, right, we know what the creative high looks like. And sometimes it manifests itself in different ways, like creative chaos. I used to say, oh my gosh, creative chaos is fabulous, but it's not really. So that's like creativity heightened and maxed out. So not a good place to live and not a place that is sustainable. So what I want is for us to have sustainable creative cycles and to understand what it looks like if we've got to pull back or push forward. But if you are in that creative flow, which is what I call your flow identity, here are three things that you need to do so that when you are on the other side of the roller coaster, where you're coming off that high, because a lot of this is adrenaline driven. So first is celebrate whatever win you had. And most of us don't take time to celebrate the wins. We go from peak to peak to peak, forgetting that in between those peaks are going to come some valleys. It's what happens. It's a cycle. So celebrate your wins. Take a few moments to do something that feels celebratory for you. I don't smoke, drink, do drugs, any of the things. So celebration for me might look like reading a good book or going to a movie or calling one of my champions or cheerleaders and saying, hey, this thing happened that was so perfect. The second thing is find a specific person or persons, your mastermind, your networking group, to celebrate your wins so that you can get some of that energy feedback. Again, you know that what's going to happen next is you're going to start tapering off that high. That'll give you a little extra buzz or feeling. This is not about seeking vanity metrics. This is not about seeking external validation. What it is, though, is about a knowing that you're seen and being heard in the ways that you know you want to be heard, in the ways you know you want to be valued. Totally different than attention-seeking behaviors, right? And then the third thing is, and what I want to lean into, is developing a routine for managing if you've got some leftover energy. And so often where I find creatives go wrong is we will finish a creative high and then sometimes have some energy left in the tank. This is your opportunity to journal, to reflect, to create something outside of the thing that you're getting compensated for. In another video, I think I talked about like the 3 parts of you. So you've worked on that thing that you're getting compensated for. Maybe you work on your hobby. Maybe you worked on a gift that you can give to the world so that you don't put that creative energy to waste. I so often believe that we are in a society of over diagnoses and over prescriptions. We're over prescribed. And those same behaviors that draw us to creativity also are the same behaviors that are either frowned upon on or turn into addictive behaviors because we still got some stuff left. And I meet with so many people who say, I just didn't know what else to do with my energy. And then we form bad habits and that sort of thing. If that is you, y'all, there's a word for that. It's called being creative, but we've got to be able to channel our creativity in moments when we realize our tank's still full, which is great. We are founts of energy, but there needs to be a routine and an awareness of when we are tapering off or we have a little bit of energy left. So that is the high part of the creative. Now on the backside of that, like I said, because we can't sustain up here forever, what happens when that energy drops, when that energy is a little lower and you think you're out of balance, but really you're not out of balance. Your body is recalibrating. Your energy cycle is recalibrating. You're getting another recharge, but it doesn't feel good. And so often we say, oh my gosh, it's depression. It's imposter syndrome. Oh, I just don't feel good. When in fact, that is a sign that your body is in a rest state of creativity. So what do you do in those moments? And I know it sucks because none of us feel like we got to rest. We feel like we got to go. We feel like if we're not producing that great thing, then we're not being productive. So I want to sunset all of those emotions and say that this is your opportunity to reflect on all of the creative energy that you've already spent and to see what you did well. This is a great opportunity to meditate, to journal, to have that self-awareness of all of the things that you just produced, and now you need to refuel. So what does refueling look like? It looks like reading something that is non-business. And I know there are a lot of business coaches out there who will say, ooh, you don't have time to go to a movie. You don't have time to read a good book. But really, sometimes you need inspiration sources. Sometimes you need refueling outside of what your industry is, outside of what your expertise is. Some of my best ideations and creations come from me talking to people who have absolutely nothing to do with the work that I do in branding and business development. It might be going to see that good Marvel movie for the 10th time where you're not actively looking for the plot because you already know how it ends, but it helps you release and you're like, oh my gosh, in this scene of the movie, this thing happened and now you got a new idea. And so often I tell people I keep 2 journals at a time. I have my emotional journal, but then I have my like logical ideation ideas journal. And between the two, I capture everything that I'm experiencing when I think I am in a creative slump or a low, when really this is my body saying, sis, you need to just chill out and take a whole seat. And so that's the first thing, or first 2 things. The third thing is set smaller goals. And those small goals might be everything from working on a project that you've put off to hand washing dishes. There's something so meditative at standing in the sink and washing a dish from time to time. And I think we lose sight of those small micro moments because we're always in the rat race. We always think we got to keep going. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you all. And then, like I said, one thing that my coach asked me to do, and really the precipice of this video, is she said, what's your number? And when I thought about what my number was, I said, okay, I know what it is. It's 10,000. That's the number God gave me. I want to make sure that everything I do in these micro moments is met with that same intention, that I don't lose sight of the bigger goal. So when you think about the reason you started your business, was there a number of people you knew you wanted to serve, a number of people you knew you desired to serve, a number of people you knew you wanted to reach or connect with? Like I said, my number was 10,000. That's the number God placed on my heart 2 years ago. And that's the number that I am seeking to reach. And so I'm starting a new initiative, launching my first ebook, which I'm really excited about. And I'll start talking about it more on the channel. But really helping women, 10,000 women was always my goal, to find clarity, to figure out how to connect their creative genius and their creative processes to the people who need them the most, so that they can serve and love and do some really good self-care. But the chat GPT prompt, and I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If so, please feel free to leave comments in the description. The chat GPT prompt that she gave me says, I may not know what happiness is, but I know I am never sad when. And so you just kind of list all of the things that make you feel good, that bring you joy, even though you are joy, that fill your bucket. And once you do that, once you compile your list, ask ChatGPT to act as a life coach, therapist, longtime guru, expert in this space, and say, please tell me the top 3 to 5 things that I value based off of this list. And then ask yourself, are these the things that you are doing in your business? Is this where all your creative energies are going? If so, it instantly fills your bucket. Y'all, literally, while I was writing my list, I felt my bucket getting full. And when ChatGPT spat my thing out, it said the top 5 things that I value are: number 1, service to others, which is why I continue to do what I call my I Care content, continuous learning, adventure and exploration. If anybody has ever met me, y'all know I love travel, I love food, creativity, and then connectivity and relationships. So I'm curious, what are your top 5? Go ahead and do that exercise. I hope you enjoyed this live. I hope you enjoyed all of the things that are going on. And y'all, if y'all are in the midst of this weather, please continue to be safe. I'm sending you nothing but peace, love, and joy. Till next time, don't forget to be the one, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.